Hello, everybody. We are Toast to Love. I am Isaac McJimsey.
And I am Jackie McJimsey. We want to welcome you today to Toast to Love. Mm.
Very delicious. Very delicious.
Family, we have a couple of quick announcements we want to kind of go over as we let people try to maybe come in a little bit. This week, we're going to be at the Fatherhood Association on Thursday night, talking with some of their patrons about parenting. So if you're out in the area and you'd like to stop by, hit us on our inbox. We'd love to have you come by. I think the classes start at 6 o'clock. On Friday, we're going to be in Anderson.
That's right.
Meeting with a group of school kids and talking about healthy relationships. So we're excited about that moment
At Trinity Christian School.
Trinity Christian School.
That's in Anderson.
And on just a tip note, April the 5th through the 10th, there is going to be a conference in Las Vegas.
That's right.
If you go to our webpage, you'll see I've posted up on our webpage where we will be in Las Vegas with the platform Rise Above. We're breaking out speakers at that, and we also have a night session talking about business and relationship. If you have a business or interested in starting one or kind of trying to figure out where you need to go, what you need to do, hey, this is going to be the conference for you. Our friend Sororia Van Horn out of Indianapolis is going to be one of the hosts of that. They've got a lot of great things going on. So look that up. It's on our page if you want more information about it. Also want to mention. Eager to Motivate.
Eager to Motivate.
That is the weight loss thing that we used when we lost some weight. We're still participating in it. They're about to start some new signups coming up March the 7th. Go to their webpage if you want more information about it. All I can tell you is that we did good.
Good. I want to say this. Signups start March the 3rd.
Yeah.
Shout out to Dwayne Ack. March the 3rd is signups, and then the challenge starts March the 7th. Just a small correction there. But we were able to lose a lot of weight. And shout out to Dwayne and Andrietta Atkinson who pulled us in. Their whole team is phenomenal. Just go on and check it out. It's great. It's a lifestyle. It's not just a one-time thing, but it's actually a lifestyle.
Also want to plug Denori. If you guys are looking for some body butter, it's about to be sundress season. So what we want you to do is be prepared. Don't go out ashy. This is a wonderful body butter that it is made locally here in Greenville by Ralph Sweeney.
Yeah, Denori.
You can go on the website. There is Denori LLC. He's got a Facebook page. You can order right off his Facebook page. I was on it today and they're having a sale. So we're excited about that. Also, tune in on Tuesday nights.
Why Tuesday?
Because on Tuesday nights, the Fly Trap is coming to you live. Yeah. If you have single friends, married friends, they talk about relationships, sports, and current events, things that are happening in the culture.
That's right.
The culture is hot. So Isaac wears a hat on that night. So if you are available on Tuesday nights from 9 to 10:30, check out the Fly Trap.
The Fly Trap, most definitely.
Also want to share with you.
Last but not least,
our signature scent. Now Bobay, Bebo 360. Bebo 360 is a massage oil that is made locally here. Family, we use this massage oil. We're selling it. It is $12, and we're selling it to help supply some of the things that we need here. Strawberry scent. We've got a new scent coming out signature scent called Bebo. But right now the strawberry is on fire. It's a great time for you to mingle with your mate, give her a massage, smell good, and enjoy doing it. So if you're interested in purchasing some, hit us on Marriage 360. We'd love to get in touch with you and get in touch with you to get that to you.
Most definitely. You done ran through the announcement, a lot going on. Want to make one other announcement. Congratulations to Justin Fox. He actually
got engaged last night at the Sneaker Ball
that we were participating in. We actually were there and had a great time. Victor Dura and the Bruh Mentor, they do a phenomenal job. Just wanted to give a shout out to them. And we were in the house last night, got to see a great proposal, and they're moving forward in their story of love.
Lots of dancing, lots of fun. Also, family, we are live on Instagram for the first time tonight. We are Instagram Marriage 360. So check us out.
Yeah. Also hit us on Toast to Love TV. That's our YouTube page, and also our Instagram page is Toast to Love TV.
I want to say hello tonight. We got a couple people on. Pam, hello. If you're on, you're watching. Hey, say hello. Layla, hello. Good to see you all the way from Florida. Ooh, we stretched out tonight. Way
Yeah,
to go.
we're in Florida.
Hey, thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for listening. Make comments, like, share, and click the notification button.
That's right.
on our page so that you can get notified every time we go live.
Most definitely. So, family, we're in week 2. We're in week 2 of the the cycles of love. You know, love is a cycle. You go through cycles.
That's
you go
right.
through stages. We're reading this book by Linda Carroll. It's called Love Cycles: The 5 Essential Stages of Love. It's been good for us. We encourage you to get it. Somebody hit us earlier today and asked, you know, what is the book? Where to find it? They were looking through it. So love has cycles.
That's
and
right.
So previously, you know, we talked about the 5 cycles, and we just wanted to put this on the screen. We ran through the first 3 cycles, which were the merge, doubt and denial, and delusionment. Tonight, we're going to stick maybe in the 3rd stage, and how do you get through to the 4th stage, which is decision. And then next week, we'll talk about wholehearted love. How do you have wholehearted love? Which we feel like we have wholehearted love. We work hard to get to this stage, and so when we want to maintain it, and so you can regress, you can start over. And so you know, we think it's important to know what stage you're in. Jackie follows real intensely, and I do as well, the Couples Academy. And one of the things they're talking about is the stages, seasons of love. And there are seasons to love, you know, and everything we're reading, we read a lot, we study a lot. We're not too prideful to acknowledge other people and say, hey, we're pulling together ideas. That's because right. Everybody's pulling from one ethos, which I do believe God is putting it out here for us to follow. And so when you think about what we're talking about, the stages and the cycles of love, it will seem like and tie into what others are saying. And so we definitely acknowledge that. So let's get down in the weeds of it. We're talking about stage 4, which is well, let me hit before we cleared out the merge cycle. That's where you're coming together. That's where you got those goosebumps. That's where it's very emotional. There's a lot of physical attraction, and so that's the first stage.
It's a lot of, that's when the dopamine and serotonin, at that point, that's when we say people are high on love.
High on love. Great stage. I mean, don't get me wrong, but what the research shows is about a 3-year period that fades.
3 to 4 years. Yeah.
It fades. So, and we call that limerence. Next stage is doubt, where you hit some trouble. You hit
I don't know if he loves me like he used to. I don't always get that lovey-dovey feeling when he walks into the room. I'm not for sure if this is the right situation for me.
Yeah. Hey, real quick before we go on to the other stage, is shout out to Fanita Fuller.
Hi. True Oneness.
True Oneness. And also she makes the smackaroni.
If you want some macaroni that'll make you smack your mama, don't smack your mama. Eat the macaroni.
Eat the macaroni. Also, shout out to what I call Big M, our father.
Hey, Daddy.
Is James Murphy. Him and Minnie. They have taught us so many things. So shout out to them. Hey, guys, keep commenting. Tell us what you think. We're talking about the stages of love. You know, you go through different stages.
You do.
You go through different phases. You go through different seasons. What do you think about the stages of love? The 3rd stage we talked about was disillusionment.
Oh.
And this is where people start to separate. They start to say, is this going to work? Mm-hmm. Their perception of the relationship is a lot worse than what it really is. I know when we went through a stage of disillusionment, we thought, is everybody going through what we go through?
Well, you know, for us, that's when we actually started going to marriage conferences.
That's right.
We
started reading books.
We started reading books and started investing back into our marriage, because it's people at this point in your relationship. This is when you think, man, I can't do this no more. around year 3, 4, 5 sometimes, and for everybody that will be different, but understand that delusionment is a stage.
It's just the
you
stage.
Have got to push
Through.
That's what we're here for. That is what there's so many marriage ministries. It's not just us. There's so many marriage ministries and marriage conferences out here today. And we encourage you to take a listen to Marriage 360. We encourage you to get involved with True Oneness. We encourage you to reach out to, there's so many, but you're going to be disappointed if you don't look out, because you're going to go through this with every person that you meet.
Stages.
It's gonna happen.
So we're now talking about stage 4. That's stage 4 is the decision. You got to make a decision after you done went through the limerence stage, the fun stage, all the other stages,
the doubt, denial, the delusionment. After you get to this point where, you know what, I don't know if I want to be with you, it's time to make a decision. Right. It's time for you to say, what are we gonna do? And how are we going to do this?
That's right. And that's the decision stage. Some of you may be in that stage. We were in that stage, made a decision. You got to buckle down. Usually there's something that happens in this stage. And we believe, and in reading the book, there's 4 things that can happen. First thing is you decide to separate. You decide, hey, enough is enough. This is not the person I'm meant to be with. Or you feel like you can't work it out with that person. And guys, we hate, and I believe God hates to see people separate.
That's right. I agree.
Especially if they are married, especially, if you're dating or if you're in a serious relationship, may not be as damaging. And I want Jackie to pick it back on this for a second. When you decide to separate, talk about the bonds. That people have created bonds. What happens during that separation when the bonds?
Family, we talk, it's so easy to get, we've talked about soul ties. We've talked about how that can happen, but people don't understand. And by this point, we've already decided that we're intimate.
That's right.
We've been intimate with this person.
That's right.
Breaking that bond is trauma. And what tends to happen in trauma? People tend to pull away because you don't want to be hurt. You got to begin to deal with the pain.
That's right.
You got to begin to deal with the disappointment or the betrayal. And a lot of times in that stage, we talk about anger. People are angry with each other and they start to blame each other. Well, if you hadn't done this and if you hadn't said that, I don't want to be with you when I'm through with you. And those things can begin to be very hurtful. So what we don't want you to do is separate, but that is one of the stages. The next thing people can do if they don't separate is nothing.
Stay together and do nothing.
Do nothing.
And we've seen that. And remember, there are children affected by that. You got friends and family that see you going through this stage where this person or this couple that their relationship is not good. It's toxic. And so to do nothing is doing something. And so it's not healthy. So we encourage you, hey, get with another couple. For us, it was getting with mentors. It was going to conferences and all of that. But it was having an outlet where we could share and have healthy dialogue for our relationship. Doing nothing is not a solution.
Not a solution. And it doesn't help anybody, especially the children that are involved and your family that's around. Because if you do nothing, then everybody realizes there's an elephant in the room. It's like, I'm a little uncomfortable because ain't nobody talking and ain't nobody getting together. So doing nothing is definitely a bad option.
Let me say this, we're definitely, I think all that we do is biblically based. I think all that we do comes from God. Just praying about it is not a solution. If it was just praying about it, then people wouldn't get divorced. If it was just praying about it, people wouldn't have the issues they have. So you have to do more than just pray about it. Loving is an action word, and we'll get into that. So it takes using the skills and using the techniques that you'll learn from somewhere to continue that on. Just listening to the comments, good. Pam says healthy dialogue is the key. We agree with you, sis. It's definitely having a healthy dialogue with someone,
having that we talk about it all the time. Family, have a conversation. Have the conversation. It's time to sit down, get face to face and talk. And one of the things that we've noticed, especially with working with couples, is when we sit people down face to face, we go, hey, it's time to talk. time to say what's going on.
Right.
They can't look each other in the face.
Yeah, that's right.
You know, it's weird. It's
Right.
odd to see. It's like, did you just turn your head? What is
That's
that
right.
about?
That's right. So the stage 2, or the second thing people do when they make a decision, is they stay together and do nothing. The next thing is they just lead parallel lives.
Woo.
Now this is dangerous, y'all, because this is a stage, and hopefully you don't find yourself in this stage. You're in the same house, you're sharing bills, you're sharing an address, but you may not even be sharing the same bedroom. You may not be sharing the same experiences. And so living a parallel life is not a life of unity. God has called us to live as one. He's called our lives to be interdependent and not independent. So leading a parallel life, you think it may be peaceful, but there's effects and ramification from that.
People begin to notice. It's like you're no longer doing anything together. You're not intimate, you're not hugging, you're not touching, you're not kissing, you're not loving. And leading parallel lives can be dangerous because it looks as if it's functional.
Mm-hmm.
It looks as if you're doing the right thing, but you're not doing anything. So it's dangerous and it's scary.
I see where Mr. Peak and Pam put, it's roommates. I mean, I couldn't imagine you just being my roommate. Now, come on now. We've seen some research, y'all, from studying that on the rise is even sexless marriages.
Oh, yeah.
And marriages where there's no intimacy, there's no closeness, that they're just paying bills and just moving ahead separately. And that could lead to infidelity. It could lead to adultery. It could lead to a lot of different things because you're leading a life that's parallel. We wouldn't recommend that. So we went through the first 3 things when you make a decision. Either you separate, you stay together, or you do it parallel. The fourth thing is what we hope you do is move forward in a rewarding relationship. That's the key.
That's the key. And you know what? That's the toughest one, because if you decide to move forward with someone, what you're saying is that, hey, I want this to work. I want to do what it takes to make this work.
Right.
Whatever it takes. And that's difficult sometimes, but we do have a few solutions. We call them the 6 C's.
Mm-hmm.
And in the 6 C's, the first thing you need to do if you decide to move forward in a rewarding relationship
is
make a choice.
Make a choice and make that person your choice. Many people know our story. We dated for a long time. Along the way, we just made a decision.
We did.
That she was my choice. I was her choice. You have to start there with the end in mind, is that we're making a choice. I think that's so important in relationships. I think that's important in moving forward.
That's right.
Is don't stay in this stage of parallel or stay in the stage of doing nothing. You got to make a choice. The next stage or place if you want to move forward, and I think the key is to move forward, is
making a commitment.
Make a commitment.
Can you commit to loving one person? And this is a good time to recommit. I know when we would go with the True Oneness Marriage Ministry, every Sunday after we did the conference or did the retreat, we do a recommittal service.
That's right.
You gotta recommit because you're doing something new. This is every time you go and make a new promise, make a new covenant, have a recommittal service. Right. Whether that's just with you and your mate, you and your mate alone can do it at home on your couch, or at this point in time, you can go out to a restaurant, have dinner, but make a new commitment. Keep making covenants with one another.
Something that Linda Carroll says in the book that I think is so important, when you're trying to move forward and using the 6 C's, you got to work from the inside out.
That's right.
Not from the outside in. So commitment comes from the inside. You have to this is what's so special about moving towards wholehearted love. That's where we're trying to go to. And to do that, you have to make a decision. You know the good, the bad, the positive, the negative. And what you have to do is make yourself vulnerable again to the person. I think that's so important when you're talking about the C's and making a commitment. you internally have to make that commitment. And then when the other person makes that commitment, now you have something to move forward with. But it takes you looking on the inside.
And for a lot of people in this stage, especially if you've had a problem in your marriage, it's a point where you want to also not only be vulnerable, but be apologetic, be sincere, be regretful if you've committed something, if you've done wrong against your mate. Just make for sure that you don't mind saying, hey, I'm sorry, I apologize. How can we make this better? What do we need to do to move forward?
You know, I'm gonna pause right here, Jackie. I think the biggest thing, and we see this in a lot of situations that where clients come into the practice, is there's been a betrayal or trust has been broken. And that's not always infidelity. Sometimes betrayal is when you put something else before your mate.
That's right.
We all have been guilty of that, where we put our careers, or we put family members, or we put a job, or whatever it is, we put our own personal interests ahead of our mate. That can be a betrayal. And so when you're talking about commitment or recommitment, you first got to deal with the fact and be vulnerable that, you know, this person may have betrayed me, have broken my trust. And so until you deal with those factors, it's very hard to move forward and build commitment.
That's right. Hey, I want to give a shout out to my mom. She says, until you get it right, relationships and marriage is the hardest job you will ever have. Trying to get along with somebody else is not the easiest thing you will ever do.
And the longer, and get this, family, the longer you live with somebody, the longer, you know, Jackie and I don't live in separate quarters. We don't live halfway across the country from each other. We live life together. And when you live life together, as the Bible says, offense will come. It's easy to offend someone, and maybe intentionally or unintentionally. And so we always have to keep be intentional about asking for forgiveness, being honest in dialogue, and say, hey, what you did, you know, that really hurt my feelings. And when we do that, we do those things, I think it clears the slate and allows us to be able to commit to each other.
So let's have a vulnerable moment.
Let's do it. Let's do it. You know,
I think I have a vulnerable moment.
Let's do it.
So we went to the sneaker ball last night.
Yes. Yeah.
And Isaac went to pick Noah from work and bring him home, and I was here getting dressed. And you know, my thing was I had bought this dress. I was like, I hate this dress. So I changed to something else. So he walked in the door. He was looking at me like, I was like, what is wrong with you?
Okay.
And he's snarling up at me, what are you doing? So I'm thinking he hates what I have on. And so he's like, well, try the other dress on. So I tried the other dress on. And he was like, I put the other dress back on. Now, let me say this, family. My husband, we do Enneagram. He is a 3. He's very self-conscious. So I'm thinking, why is he looking at me like that? He don't like my dress?
No, and that wasn't it.
But but the way he was looking at me, I was ticked.
So family, let me chime in here. Let me get this thing straight. We went and purchased a dress, and that wasn't the dress she had on. So I'm thinking, well, why are you not wearing the dress that we picked out? And that was the reason for my look. I was like, I'm confused. I don't know. Hey, you look great. You always look great to me, but we picked out.
He didn't say that. That's not what he said.
That's not what I said.
But you know, we quickly had to get back on the right side because we was riding over there. I'm like, I ain't happy with you. Like,
that's
I don't
right.
like, because you normally look at me and you smiling, but he was not smiling.
That's right, family.
When he saw it, because he didn't know. But understand, he was coming from, why didn't you have a dress on that we bought, we paid for? And I'm like, I don't care what dress I had on. You better look at me like you love me, and that like I like the best thing you ever seen popping. That's not what I got. That's not the response I'm used to getting. So understand, I was feeling some type of way. Although we worked it out. Yeah. We were able to have the conversation without getting offensive with one another. Exactly. Because that would have ruined our whole night. And we had a great time.
So, but you know, the thing about it, misunderstandings will happen. It will happen unintentionally. And so the quicker you are to make that right by having dialogue and being vulnerable and say, hey, okay, let me get my face right. Let me get my face right. So things happen, and I think when you allow those things to pile up, over time,
That's right.
it's hard to recommit in the relationship. And so forgiveness is so important, so important.
It could have been big. Next thing, celebration. Hey,
if you're gonna move forward,
you got to learn how to celebrate each other. You have to learn how to celebrate each other, celebrate small moments, celebrate big moments. Make it a big deal, whatever it is that you're doing. If it's coming home from work and you meet him at the door to give him a kiss, if it is, hey, you did a great job. He loved kiss. You did a great job today. So much appreciated everything that you did. Whatever you do it with exuberance so your mate feels welcome and feels celebrated.
And the source of celebration is appreciation.
That's right.
You'll celebrate what you appreciate.
Oh, yeah.
Let me say that again. You will celebrate what you appreciate. Now, I'm going to take this off the rails just a little bit.
Uh-oh.
Everybody knows from the Fly Trap and from our telecast, I've left the Washington team. I just don't think they appreciate us. And I ain't cheering. I'm not cheering for them no more.
They're not your friends no more.
They're not my friends no more. So I got a team on my eye, but we don't want this to happen in our relationships.
That's right.
Celebrate your mate. Find ways, the small things to celebrate them. And I think that's so important. When you start to appreciate, you will celebrate.
That's right. That's good.
So what's the next one?
Show compassion.
That's it. If you're gonna move forward and in your relationship, we got to show each other compassion and empathy. Put yourself in the other person's shoes. A person makes a mistake, a person says something wrong, does something wrong. Have that compassion to move forward. I think when we have standards and then we have so many penalties for those standards, then it's very hard in a relationship because guess what? We're imperfect humans. We're going to continue to make mistakes. And I think having compassion helps you move forward.
It does.
Yeah. So our next one is
Mr. Ralph Sweeney said, find 100 ways.
100 ways.
Right.
Good. There are 100 ways. Somebody's listening. So after you found compassion, we're talking about the 6 things to practice in your relationship to move it forward.
And remember, if you're watching tonight, please like, share, and hit the notification button so that you can be alerted every time we go live. And if you know anybody that needs this, please share it with them.
So before we go to the next one, just let you know we're on YouTube, Toast to Love TV. We're on Instagram as Toast to Love TV. And of course, we're on Facebook. And yeah, we're on Facebook. That's it. So good deal. Fifth thing to do. If you're talking about moving forward, I don't care where you are in your cycles, this is always good. It's co-creation. I love this. Co-creating your activities, co-creating your ideas, your values. It's always better when Jackie and I do it together. What we're doing now is a co-creation. It's something we decided to do together. And if it was just my idea, or if it was just something I wanted to tackle, that would be one thing. But it's so much better that we're co-creating it.
Also, in co-creation is managing conflict.
Right.
You got to be able to deal with, have the conversation. You have to be able to show and know that if something arises, you can handle it. And family, nobody's perfect. No situation is perfect. No person is perfect. And in saying that, note that you're gonna have disagreements because we're two different people. We come from two different cuts of cloth. So we may not ever see things exactly the same.
That's right.
But we can agree
to agree.
Okay. And if we can agree to agree, we can get some stuff done.
Most definitely. Also, Jackie mentioned, in conflict and communication and in how we support each other. I help her create in her career. She helps me create in our career. We co-parent. In whatever way you can co-create, that means you give the other person the ability to influence you.
That's right.
You give the other person the ability to have say.
Right.
You give the other person the ability to invest not only in you but in this situation.
Exactly.
Because how long is somebody going to stay in a situation where they don't have any influence, they don't have any investment, they don't have any say? And so it's important to co-create together.
Oh yeah.
And especially in the intimate moments.
And the two people that are involved in this relationship, it's not one person. So I'll always remember, what can I do to prefer my mate? What can I do to make him smile? What can he, and I know the prayer is that he's hoping what he can do the same in reverse.
All right, y'all. We're to the last point before we sign off, is the 6 C's of moving forward. The last C is having courage. Woo. I don't care what anyone says. Staying and moving forward in a relationship and creating a new and revived relationship, it takes courage. You have to be courage. What is courage? Courage is not the absence of fear, but it's looking in the face of fear and moving forward.
Speak to that devil.
That's right. And you have to have courage, because when you've been in a relationship with someone and been vulnerable, when you've opened yourself up to them, maybe
that takes courage.
It takes courage. And if they've hurt you before, it takes real courage to say, I'm going to recommit, knowing all that I know.
It takes courage to say, I'm not happy with the way you're treating me. It takes courage to say, I want to work with you. Help me, let me show you, or let's work together to find a better way so that we can move forward in a healthy way. Yeah. It's important.
Also, knowing your limitations.
Oh, yeah.
It takes courage to move forward, knowing that we can't do it all, that there may be limitations within our relationship. You know, we hear the terminology power couple, or, you know, that terminology like Jay-Z and Beyonce, that you can do it all. Invariably, for us common regular folk, we can't do it all.
We can't do it all.
There are limitations, and I think it's important to not only know your limitations, but not have fear about it.
That's right. That's right.
Not have fear about it. So it takes courage.
Hey, family, we're at the end tonight. We're about to sign out. We want you to remember something. Loving is a skill, and if you don't develop it, you'll lose it. So say thank you for listening tonight, and we want to toast to your love. See you next week.